Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Well Weight Wednesdays. This is Lisa M. Pepe, former personal trainer and Reiki Level 3, now your wellness, weight, and wisdom coach. And on this week's episode, I wanted to talk to you a little bit more about carbs. And I know they've been in the news off and on for a very long time, but I want to talk to you about my version or what I think of as crappy carbs. That's right, you heard me, crappy carbs. So this episode is probably rated PG. I myself happen to be a little bit sensitive to carbohydrates, especially heavy amounts of carbohydrates. And I have always been a little bit sensitive to them in a way that they create a lot of water weight gain in me, or they do things to my digestive tract that I don't like. But I've noticed more and more as I am in menopause. I know, hard to believe. But for those of you who are in your 40s, 50s, and even 60s, you're going to notice that eating any type of starchy carbohydrate is going to affect you more and more. I do not want to get into the medical or scientific reason why, but I do want to let you know that most of those crappy carbs you shouldn't be eating anyway. So don't worry, you're really not missing out on anything, and you can still have them every once in a while. So the top crappy carbs that bother me, and of course probably bother you, are the things you hear all the time. Okay, the breads, the muffins, the cookies, the cakes. I'm even going to put cereal bars in there, certain sugary cereal bars with a lot of breading and very little filling or very little protein. Anything that is bready, even pretzels, can be considered a form of bread. Not just white flour. I'm talking anything made from wheat flour, rice flour, corn flour, and even some of the healthier flours you really have to watch. I always tell you to read the ingredients, and you want to make sure that you do get any processed food with minimal ingredients, but any of them that have an extensive carbohydrate profile of, let's say, 15 grams or higher per serving are definitely going to bother you. And most of them I would consider unhealthy no matter what. First of all, they're processed. You don't know what happened to them or how they were created when they went from the actual grain into the food you're trying to eat. Second of all, the carbohydrate tends to raise your insulin levels, and it will turn into a sugar in your body, and it also will create inflammation in your digestive tract and very possibly water weight gain from that, because your body sends fluid and packs every area it deems as injured with some fluid. And I can tell you that most of the bready foods are processed and don't have a lot of nutrients in them. Even if they tell you they have 2% calcium or maybe 2 grams of fiber or anything below 5 in the nutrient area is nothing. They're putting it on there and it is basically just a trace. So not only are the bready, crappy carbs very bad for you, they're going to make you feel bad. They are going to keep you bloated. They're going to definitely prevent you from losing weight and maintaining it. And they're also going to wreak havoc on your digestive system as well as probably other areas of your body. So the bready carbs, anything in that category, you want to stay away from as much as possible. However, on all of my Leaner Ladies programs, I do allow treat days, and I do allow you to pick one of your favorite treat foods, even if it is a bready, crappy carb, and you can eat it. But I have a specific way that I like for everyone to go about that. And I won't get into that right now, but you can learn more over at lisampepe.com, and you can see a lot of those programs on my weight page or on my coaching page. And if you want, sign up for the free membership because I always send out free tips in email and I give you notifications of when these episodes are airing, and you'll get a link to the replay just in case you missed it. So let's get back to the crappy carbs. The next on my list, of course, are the snack foods. And I already mentioned pretzels, but we're talking potato chips, even corn chips, even the healthier blue corn chips. You should still only eat every once in a while. Most corn is genetically modified nowadays. A lot of the organic blue corns are not so far, but we'll see what happens with those as the demand for them rises. But in the meantime, just the fact that corn is a starch and it is sort of a starchy carbohydrate, and I actually have it on my crappy list because it makes me feel crappy. So I think corn is crappy. And unless I grew it in my backyard and it's the beautiful white corn, non-genetically modified that I grew up with in New Jersey, I don't want to have any of it. And every once in a while, I will allow myself to have the organic blue tortilla chips as a treat. And then I still make my own homemade salsas and everything else that goes along with it. And I still will feel kind of bloated after I eat them. So I don't do it too often because I want to make sure that I don't overdo it with the carbs. So I don't gain weight and gain fluid that I can't reverse. Most of my programs also come with a reset button, which I like to do every single week, every single Monday. And if you go back through my blogs on my blog page, there is one all about resetting your resolution, which is something that I think we all should do every week, especially if you decide to have a treat day or two on the weekend and you have a few crappy carbs. So next on the list of these carbohydrates would be like your starchier vegetables. And I already mentioned corn. And I'm not going to tell you to stay away from vegetables per se, like squashes and sweet potatoes, because they are good for you, but I would still limit them to about once a week. But regular potatoes, no matter what color they do have a lot of starch in them. So, potatoes at the grocery store look really pretty these days, and I love them. We have red potatoes, purple potatoes, regular potatoes, baking potatoes, gold potatoes, you name it, potatoes. And they are good every once in a while, but they're a carbohydrate and they do carb up your body. They raise your insulin levels and they do cause water weight gain, and they can prevent you from losing weight or maintaining your well weight goals. So if you're going to have a regular potato, then I would limit that to once a week on your treat day. And like I said, sweet potatoes are also okay. They are a little bit sugary and they're not as starchy carby as the other potatoes. And I do usually eat a sweet potato once every week or two. So you can put that in there because it's actually a root vegetable and it actually does have some good vitamins and minerals in it. So I don't want to steer you away from those. But the next item or group of items on my crappy carb list, I'm really having a lot of fun saying that, so don't repeat it in front of your children and make sure you are not watching this video in front of your children either. So the next item is going to be some of the grains that we eat whole, like rices. And I love rice with my sushi, but I try not to eat it on its own. Every once in a while, I'll use some rice flour, brown rice flour in some recipes if it's only a little bit, but I don't make a lot of baked goods. I might use it just to thicken something, or I'll use it minimally. But rice is still a starchy carb, and unless you're going to go burn it off right after you eat it, I don't recommend it. It is high in carbs, of course, and while a lot of the wild rices and the brown rices that still have the hull on them aren't as crappy as the white rice, they still are going to hinder your weight loss. It's still a carbohydrate. It's still going to turn to sugars in your body, still going to raise those insulin levels, and quite possibly it still could cause a little bit of water retention and inflammation. And along with the rice group, I also have found that most pastas, even if they're made from rice or quinoa, and be careful of those, they're mixing them with a lot of corn these days because it's cheaper, are still high in carbohydrates. So the pastas you're really going to have to wash. And I really like to substitute spaghetti squash for my pasta. So if I'm going to do any kind of a pasta dish once a week or once every couple of weeks, I'm going to use spaghetti squash. I will use rice pasta, brown rice pasta, and I will try to get the one with the higher fiber in it. And I will have that as a treat once in a while on the weekends. And I try not to do it every single weekend because if I do it too many weeks in a row, I will notice that it is carbing me up and I do have a more difficult time losing that water weight. So watch the pastas, even the ones made from the healthier grains, and consider those a treat food as well, and also all of the rices. And for the most part, I'm not talking sugar on this episode. I speak sugar and how to stay away from sugar on quite a few video blog episodes. So you can go back to lisaandpepe.com/blog and read up on all of that. But most of these starchy carbs turn into that sugar in your body anyway. So it's really not good for your insulin levels. And for those who are diabetic, pre-diabetic, or don't know anything about being diabetic, but it could actually cause diabetes if you eat too many of them. And I know that they are starting to uncover the role that they play in tooth decay as well as heart conditions and other medical conditions and diseases in the body. So starchy carbs, crappy starchy carbs, not good. Stay away from them as much as possible. And I always limit them in my diet to once a week, and then I save the bad ones, which for me aren't so bad because brown rice pasta, people would say, well, that's not a treat food or that's not really bad for you, but it kind of is, especially for my body. I don't react well to any kind of pasta and it blows me up no matter what I do. So I will try just to limit those types of carbs to once in a while. And I do recommend that all of you do the same. So on that note, if there aren't any questions, and I didn't see any come in earlier through the email, but I will let you know that if you sign up on my homepage at lisaandpepe.com for my free membership, you will get the replay link to all of these videos and Well Wait Wednesdays, and you will get the replay link to my podcast, and you will get special tips in your email. And I try not to overdo it. I only email a few times a week, and you can opt out anytime you'd like. But I do send you notices and information about these Well Wait Wednesdays episodes so you can participate if you'd like, or you can just send me questions ahead of time. And most of what I speak about in these episodes, I have gotten the information or the question from people in my groups and clients, former clients, current clients. So I know what everyone's asking, but maybe I'm not answering your question. So please feel free to either comment below on any of the social media that you see this posted on, or go over to my website and please sign up for that free membership and send me an email and let me know what questions you might have. And especially when I send you the reminder for these, you can just reply and say, hey, Lisa, I would really love for you to answer this question this week. And then I will answer it for you, whether you're on with me or not. And I will send you the replay link. Simple as that. So on that note, this has been Well Wait Wednesdays. This is Lisa and Pepe, wellness, weight, and wisdom coach. And please join me every Wednesday. The time has been changing, but if you sign up for the free membership, you will be notified when I'm on live. And if not, it will be recorded and the replay will be sent to you either way, so you don't miss another episode. So I hope to hear from you, and I hope to get a lot of questions, and I will answer one or two of them on next Wednesday's episode. Have a wait rest of your week, and I will see you on my website, or I'll see you next Wednesday. Bye-bye for now.